Okay, hey, and welcome to the womb. As you guys can see by the title, we're going to be finishing a series that I've started, going over all the 12 energies or zodiacs. And like I said in previous videos, I do recommend you to watch all of the zodiacs, because the way I'm explaining the energies is in a whole way, not more so if you have this energy. Because how I look at it is we all have 12 houses, which is these 12 energies. So you have these energies somewhere in some house, and I will be going through the houses at the end of the video. So we are on Gemini, and since we on Gemini, let me get into the mood, because I have a story to tell y'all about my weekend. I'm recording this is Monday, y'all. It's Monday, and boy, have I had a weekend. So the first story I want to tell y'all is, why did I lose my phone for 8 hours? So I go to the mall. I don't even go to the mall like that, but I go to the mall and I lose my phone. So I'm like, damn. Once I realized, because I didn't even realize that I lost it. Like, I went home, I made a meal, and then I sit down to eat my meal, and y'all already know we all a little slow, and we gotta eat and watch something. So I'm like, where the hell is my phone? And I'm like, damn. I looked everywhere. I stayed calm. I looked everywhere for this phone. And see, the thing is, like, I've been tired of phones for the longest. So I'm like, it's like a lot of thoughts coming in my head, but I'm chilling. You know, some people lose their phone, they go crazy, but me, I'm like, I'm chilling. I'm like, damn, this is the time. Like, this is the time for me that I've been asking for, to take, like, forget the phone. I don't want to be on these phones. My eyeballs hurt from staring at the screen all day. It's just too much convenience of a computer in your pocket. I'm like, okay, I'm tired of it anyway. So I'm like going back and forth, and then I'm like, the worst case scenario is I lost the phone. So me, I'm like becoming cool with the idea that the phone is gone. Like, I don't even care. My phone and my iPad is connected, so that made me kind of chill for the most part, because really I was just worried about the pictures. But really, even pictures, you can like pull up your iCloud kind of, but I didn't even care for real. So I just put in my due diligence to at least put in the steps to look for it, because I'm like, damn, my phone really lost itself. Like, it really was like, okay, let me lose myself, because like, where is you going? It was lost for 8 hours doing what? Okay, but anyways, I'm like putting in my due diligence to just put forth effort to find the phone. Look everywhere, retrace my steps. Luckily, I did not go to a mall that was hella far away, right around the corner. So I retrace my steps in the house, and then I go all the way to the mall, and I couldn't find it. But I went to the security place, and I was like, yeah, I found a phone. It was like, nope, nope, nope. And then it was like, you want to fill out this paper just in case we find it? I'm like, no, I ain't gonna fill out the paper, because me, I'm already like, damn, the phone is lost. But then I'm also like, I'm like steady weighing the odds in my head. I'm like, the phone is gone. But I was only in the play area with the parents, so I'm like, if I dropped it there, the chances of me getting somebody who see it that's like, ooh, let me steal an iPhone, is probably slim to none, because it may be a parent. Like, 9 times out of 10, if anybody see it, it's probably a parent, and yeah, they could turn it in, because I was in the play area with kids. So it's like, okay. So that was like giving me 50-50 chances. And yeah, I didn't even think I lost it where I lost it. Oh, and then we just walked out, and I'm like, I was with a group of people. If it would have failed, like, they would have heard me. So they would have heard it or seen it fall, because I'm pretty sure I was walking in front of the group that I was with. and I'm like, it couldn't have did that. So I didn't even think to like 100% check the parking lot when I went back to the mall and looked for it. But yeah, I went to the security desk and it was like, you want to fill out this paper just in case we find it? I'm like, no, I don't want to fill it out because like I just called back or whatever. And yeah, I didn't fill it out, and I was like, damn, the phone is gone. But I did do my due diligence before I even went to the mall. I had did the little Find My app, and of course my ass never had my location on, so they really couldn't find it. They just like was able to ping the last time it was online, and it was like, oh, it's at the mall, and I'm like, okay. This was the last place, so I went to the mall, and yeah, so it wasn't no Find My working. But I did do the thing on there on the Find My app where you could set it as lost and tell them to call a number. So I had did that, and you know, I went to sleep so good, y'all. I was not, oh wait, let me tell y'all let me tell y'all first. So doing my due diligence, I'm like, the phone is gone. I done started watching unboxing videos for the next phone I'm finna get, because I want me a flip phone bad. Like, I'm tired of the high quality screens. I'm tired of the computer in my pocket. So I'm like looking at flip phones. Like, I'm already ready to find my new phone. Like, I'm not even, like, I'm satisfied with the worst. And some people look at me and be like, why do you think of the worst first? And the thing is, I've noticed what the difference is. Some people be emotionally attached to outcomes. So if I was to bring up the worst or the negative or whatever people assume it is, but me, it's just a possible outcome. And it's like, and that's just what I do. So, and the thing is, I'm not even emotionally attached to it. So I'm like, oh, the phone is gone. And you know, I was chilling. That's how my Capricorn, Jupiter, Capricorn 12th house work. Like, we be realistic, and you know, we don't get too attached to it. It is what it is. I was already looking up my unboxing videos and for the next phone I wanted, because I was actually been like, I'm trying to get out the game, trying to get out the game with these phones. And yeah, let me not make this story too long, but yeah, went to sleep, slept so good without that phone. Like, I didn't even care. Like, and then they end up calling, the security office end up calling. It was like, oh, we found your phone in a parking lot. And I'm like, yay. So yeah, they end up finding my phone in the parking lot. Y'all, the fucking phone is a fucking soldier. It's like, it was in the parking lot. Nothing is wrong with it. Nothing happened. Nobody stole it. Nobody ran over it. Like, oops. Like, it just really disappeared for 8 hours. Thought it was gonna scare the hell out of me, but it didn't. I was finna hurry up and replace it. Then the ass wanna pop back up once it found out that I didn't give a fuck. So that was funny. Like, I lost my phone for 8 hours. And then another story. So I got about, I don't even know what type of page, but I got a page on TikTok, and I just post random videos on there just to get like a following and stuff like that. It's like, I kind of call it like a T page, because I like reality TV or celebrity drama. Like, my 5th house is Gemini, so that stuff is fun. Speaking of, this is the Gemini video. But yeah, I got a little T page on TikTok. Why I post a video? Because I watched this movie about the 6888 movie. Let me say it right, because I don't want to get jumped again. But I watched the 6888 movie, and I'm watching it. I'm like, damn, none of these girls got afros. Like, nobody got a natural fro. So I post a clip on my T page, and I say, not a natural fro in sight. Why did that video get over 50,000 likes, 1,000 comments, 1,000 likes? I didn't posted a video on the T page, and it didn't got 1.2 million views, and They didn't even comment like that on that video. That video only got like less than 300 comments. But all I said was not a natural fro in sight. And it wasn't. It literally wasn't a natural fro in sight. I was like, not a natural fro in sight. Like, goddamn. Like, why people can't be themselves? Why is there not a natural fro in sight? I posted the clip, and every comment was, learn your history. Learn your histories. Afros wasn't out in 1940s and the 40s. And my thing is, why can't people just be themselves? I have to add this in here while I was adding. So they was in the comments talking about I was rage baiting or something like that. And let me just tell you, because I didn't even know what rage baiting was or anything, and they like, please tell me this is rage baiting. And I'm like, I literally genuinely posted that. I did not think that y'all was gonna be mad. And it just seems like everybody was kind of deflecting the point, because there literally wasn't an afro in sight. And it's like everybody was trying to come up with an excuse of why they wasn't being themselves or why women didn't have afros, instead of just saying, oh yeah, it wasn't an afro in sight. They're just deflect or play victim or say, oh, we was forced. And it's like that is the problem. People want to avoid the point to just make excuses for your actions. I didn't post that for rage bait. I was like very genuine about the fact that it wasn't a fro in sight, and then the whole movie and the fact that it's built off real life, and like, to me, it just confused me to even try to accept someone or something that doesn't accept you, to be taught to how you don't want to be taught to. That stuff is all beneath me. Like, that blew me itself. I didn't post that for no rage bait or anything. I didn't even think y'all was gonna blow that up like that. But apparently it triggered something. And I understand, me being me, you know, like, I get it. Like, I understand, like, just even being a woman itself and the insecurities women can have, but gotta do better. And yeah, so I'm like confused on what it even have to do with the fact that it was the 40s, because I don't care that it's 2024. It still ain't a natural fro in sight, and people still can't be themselves or not choosing to be themselves. And they want to talking about, oh, learn your histories. We was forced to do this, and like, be mad at me. I said what I said. They was so mad, and all I said, it wasn't a natural fro in sight. So yeah, I got jumped in the comments by all of them women telling me to learn my history, and that's not even my history. Like, I would never, like, what do you mean? Like, so enough of the storytelling, enough of that. Let's get into the Gemini video. okay. I feel like I told the story better in my head before, but yeah. All right. Gemini. So Gemini is associated with the 3rd house. Okay, it's recording. It's associated with the 3rd house, associated with like Mercury energy. Gemini energy is the energy of getting familiar with something through thinking about it or communicating about it. It's kind of like I like to call it like a Curious George energy, because Geminis want to get familiar with things, or it's what they already are familiar with. It is the mutable part of spring. Is it? No, it's not. Yeah, it is the mutable part of spring. What did they just do? Okay, so yeah, getting familiar, can move between ways of thinking or think for self, or also have another person's thought. And this kind of plays out, you know how people be like, oh, Geminis, they got two personalities. It's because Geminis can think the way they think, or they can think about something in a way that somebody else think about something, if that makes sense. Like, they could have another person's thought, or they could have their thought. It's the things you like around you, or what you think keep on your mind. So it's kind of like your environment, your home space. That's kind of why Gemini turns into the fourth house, or to the Cancer energy, because once something be around your environment so long, or you get so familiar with something, it does create a comfort, and it can turn into that home space. It's your mental stability, or your environment. So some people may have like fire third house, or may have their Gemini energy in a firehouse, or you could either have like your Mercury in the firehouse, or Earth, any element. You can mix it, and it's kind of like your mental stability, or how your environment works out. Usually carry the traits of being communicative, or willing to talk to everyone. Gemini is ruled by Mercury, and that's thinking and communicating. So a Gemini in a room would look like them trying to get familiar with you, or being communicative, or kind of like nosy, or asking the right questions, or having questions. They pay attention to ways of thinking, or seeing the details of different ideas. So it's like intellectual energy. Can be seen as two-sided due to having multiple perspectives, because when it comes to like air energy is kind of like a perspective. Like the world and all the air here is like a perspective. So can be seen as someone you can talk to and gain insight from. So the Gemini energy is like that familiar energy. So a person who has this, or even you're a Gemini, that is the way you gain insight, or the way you do communicate, or get different perspectives, or get familiar with things. Seen as flaky because they can decide they don't want you in their environment or on their mind, and actually do it. So what that means is, since it's the environmental energy, a Gemini can have a perspective one day, get familiar with some other idea, and then decide, oh, I don't want you on my mind, I don't want you in my environment, and actually do that. So it's like they can take you out of their mind, or take you out of their environment, and they express ideas. So Geminis will have ideas, or things they may be familiar with. They may be like, oh, I know this joint, or oh, my mama friend, cousin, like things they're familiar with, or anything that they know. They can bring that up and express those type of things. So the ruler is Mercury. Mercury is communicative, detailed energy, logic, and mutable on different ideas. It opposed Sagittarius, which means that Geminis need to balance experiencing things and not thinking you know what will happen. So experience to learn more so than thinking or reading something to learn something. Just experiencing things first. So putting your way of thinking away for the sake of experiencing. So Geminis oppose Sag, because a lot of Geminis, or the Gemini energy, are the way you think can stop you from experiencing. So you have to balance that out and make sure your way of thinking isn't getting in the way of you experiencing things. Because what is it? Taurus turns into Gemini. So Taurus can turn into, like, you being so stable and fixated on whatever makes sense to you. It becomes what you're familiar with. It becomes your environment, or what you how you think, your way of thinking. And that fixed energy turning into something that's mutable, it could stop you from that ninth house energy of expanding. And like a example with me, because my ninth house and third house is Libra Aries, so the way I think is very self-centered. I always think I'm right. I know. I think about myself a lot. It could be me on my mind, or either I'm familiar with a lot of individuals, people who do think about themselves. Like, that's familiar to me, for people to think about themselves and make sure they're good on their own. Whether that's right or wrong, however it play out, the thing is, with me personally, I have too much seventh house energy, and me having Aries in my third house is perfect balance, because I need to think about myself to balance out all the Libra energy I have. But the thing is, me thinking about myself, I also experience from others and can learn from others. So it's always kind of like that balance energy, because you're going to have those oppositions in your third and ninth house. So it's like, yeah, I could think about myself or think for myself, but I also learn and expand more from other people's way of thinking, or other people's ideas, or what they're familiar with, you know. But usually how it play out for me is, when I do hear other people's opinions or see how other people are living, it be my deciding factor that, oh, they're right, they're wrong, or oh, I would do that, or I wouldn't do that. So that's kind of like how that plays out. Have to learn to express emotion in a raw way, and not think about what you feel to avoid balance, something like that. Okay, let's get into Gemini and the houses. Let's see. So Gemini in the first house, that's kind of like how I said I have a third house in Aries. This would be also like the same type of vibe, putting Gemini in your first house. It makes your way of thinking more personal. It makes your environment and the things around you and what you're familiar with more personal. People can be you're more familiar with aggressiveness, or people being passionate about themselves, or people in boundaries, or selfishness, or just a lot of people thinking of for self. Your upbringing can be more so based on individuality, or people, yeah, just a whole bunch of selfishness going on, and that's not bad, okay? Or good. It's just what you're used to. You have to know what you're used to, know what you do. Second house, this can be you being fixated, or you make sense, or you have a gift, or you value getting to know things, or getting familiar with things, or you value what's on your mind and the type of thoughts you have. And it also can make because I feel like all of the spring signs, like Aries, Taurus, Gemini, those are more so me. Like, so it could be a little stubborn, I would say, more so for Gemini in the second house. It's a stubborn way of thinking, more so predicated to your gifts, your talents, the way you make sense. A lot of that could be going on in your environment or in your head. You thinking about what you have to offer. Are you thinking about what is more so shown and what makes sense? Yeah, so Gemini in the third house, it makes you think and communicate about the things in your environment, which is kind of like its natural space, or its natural thing. So if you wake up and the things around you is on your mind, it's not really something else. It's you thinking about your environment, or getting familiar with the things on your mind, communicating properly with the things in your environment, or communicating what's on your mind. Fourth house is more so being like familiar with what's comfortable with you, or having a lot of people who care about their own privacy or their comforts in your environment, or let's see, like you could have a lot of things always have on your mind, like what's making you comfortable, or are you comfortable, and you could be a little nosy or curious about what makes other people comfortable, or that's just what's familiar, just like people expressing and talking about their own comforts and what they care about. Fifth house is more so about fun and entertainment, so you're familiar with people who have fun or talk about their entertainment or what they do as a character or how they see things, and you could be a person who always have on your mind how you see things or what you're entertained by. Sixth house is just always having on your mind your responsibilities, your work, how to get something done. Or and you could be familiar or have a lot of people in your environment always thinking about what their work or their responsibilities. It's just a whole lot of responsibility talk in your environment. I'm gonna skip to 12th house because I got like 11 minutes. I don't want to miss anything. So this has been 12th house. Gemini is being familiar with dreams and imagination, thinking and communicating about this, having a lot of people in your environment or what you're familiar with in your surroundings, very imaginative, or you could have a lot of subconscious thoughts or your childhood, or a lot of thoughts and ideas are getting familiar with the way different people feel or different things to be creative. And your environment can be a lot of arts or music. 11th house is being familiar with like public arenas, going out into public or distant places that are new, and being a character or having your fixed way of thinking in that environment. Or you could have a lot of people who are in your environment who are just here and there, like they are who they are, they be around, like you can have be familiar with a lot of come and go energy. 10th house is having, that's not right, that's supposed to be in the 9th house, but the 10th house is just having your status, what you do for work, or how you're seen on your mind. Oh man, copy. Yeah, the way you build on things, the status, or how you can be of use on your mind and what's familiar. So a lot of things in your environment or what you're familiar with is about, are you useful? You could be familiar with a lot of people talking about their status or their career, am I saying it right, or working, or it could always be on your mind, like you're always thinking about how other people can be useful or how you're seen or your status. The 9th house is it's like the opposition. So is you thinking about expanding and experiencing, thinking about things that aren't familiar, or again familiar with things that aren't familiar. It could also kind of put you in a space to where you don't ever get familiar with things. It could kind of be a little backwards, like the way you're thinking can always be like outside of whatever it is. Like you can not really learn something or get detailed with whatever it is. You're always just probably kind of trying to expand it, or do some type of new experience type vibe, like more newness more so than getting familiar. 8th house would be having your secrets or other people's secrets on your mind, or having your intentions, or always wondering what somebody else intended by what they just showed you, or the what's going on behind the scenes always on your mind, and you could be familiar in your environment with a lot of people who keep secrets or always got some weird intentions. Like, that's familiar to you, like, so that's why you kind of always have it on your mind, because you're kind of used to people playing out energies of having alternative motives type vibes. Seventh house is having other Gemini in the seventh house is having like other people, places, and things on your mind. It is another air house, so it's like what you're familiar with is a whole lot of relating, a whole lot of people who want to do something with you, or people always having a something or a person or a place that they go to and that they like or that they relate to. Yeah, kind of like just always having something else on your mind. Like, you're familiar with relating or thinking about others. I think I did all the houses. I think that went by way quicker. Like, yeah, I'm getting a little better. Yeah, so just to sum it up, Gemini energy, a healthy Gemini energy gets familiar. They think about how other things can get done, other ways of getting things done, are being logical. They taking in consideration of what's familiar to other people. It's all the air, like, it's the mutable air. So to have healthy Gemini energy, you want to make sure you're being mutable and you're being more communicative. You're getting familiar with things. Yeah. And peace, y'all.